What's up, everybody? Hockey fans around the world. What's going on? Mark Allred here, host of the Black and Gold Hockey Podcast. Decided just to throw up a live stream and see if anybody wants to talk some Boston Bruins while we enjoy this 2024 NHL Winter Classic. Love to have you stick around for the duration of this whole game and obviously, send some questions in that are Bruins related. Certainly love to answer them if I can. And also want to promote, if anybody else wants to join me on this platform, please feel free to send me a message, a DM on Twitter, and we'll get you on and talk some Boston Bruins hockey or maybe some news around the league. So I think this would be a good opportunity. It's New Year's Day, so happy New Year's to everybody out there, all hockey fans, particularly the Bruins fans in the in Bruins Nation. So it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, definitely feel free to let me know if you guys want to jump on. Love to have some company. But Seattle and the Vegas Golden Knights are playing the 2024 NHL Winter Classic right now. It is on TNT if you guys haven't seen it. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be showing the game. But I'll just be, talking about the game, but also talking bees because I got pretty bored this afternoon. And I don't know. So like I said, hit me up with some questions. I'd love to answer them. But until then, hopefully everybody is good. Hopefully nobody partied too much last night. If you're able to, hit up the chat, man. Talk some bees, talk some hockey. That place looks awesome. I love the Winter Classics. It's absolutely one of my favorite times of the year, regardless if the Bruins are involved or not. I just love the whole outdoor feel. I love skating outside. I think skating outside is so much better than doing it in a rink because it almost seems like that stale air. It's I don't know, especially as a goaltender. Dry heaving in my mask. Anybody got any questions? We have a bunch of viewers right now. We're 4 minutes into this. Please don't hesitate to participate in the chat. Send us a question. Or send me a question. Like I said, the conditions out there look pretty decent. I always get worried about these Winter Classic games because of where they're at. Like Tahoe was just a shit show. That should have been a night venue completely. But I do understand you want to get the friggin', scenery in the background and so on. So you want it during the daytime, but the sun just absolutely killed that rink. Thankfully, the Bruins came out victors over the Philadelphia Flyers. So that is always good. Anytime you can get 2 points, good thing. Hit me up in the chat too if you like these Winter Classic games or you think they're a waste of time. I think they're good for the league. Definitely good to get more people in a certain area, like a football stadium, a baseball stadium, and so on, and get that outdoor feeling. I'd love to skate out in something like that. All right, so I am getting questions, but they're going on Twitter. Brian M sent me a message, and I'm assuming Brian is tuning in, and he followed me, so I'm just going to follow it. Oh, I'm already following him. All right. Well, I'm not seeing the questions up here, though. That's what's weird. But he says, with no first, second, and third, I feel the Bruins will hold off on the hunt for a number one center. Thoughts? Yes, I totally agree with that. The Bruins don't have the draft capital to go after a player like Elias Lindholm this year. I don't know. The compass is gravitating to he's probably going to test free agency, and why not take a stab at him during the free agent period? Why give up assets we don't have to make a deal? So Dom Tiano and I on our Black and Gold Hockey podcast have for weeks been talking about this being such a transition year that we don't believe that big deals are going to happen, because the fact is that the Bruins don't have much to leverage. You can definitely move players and so on, but I just don't see many pieces leaving this team and having new people come in and get adjusted and so on to make a deep run in the playoffs. I don't see it happening. I think next year, with the increased cap space, it's going up $4.5 million. And there's going to be plenty of cap room to go around. I think that's when the team is going to actually build for a winner, is next season. This season is pretty much, I don't want to say it's a punt year, but I mean, I would like to see them make the playoffs, obviously, and get out of the first round. That would be a success moving forward. And then, next season, build for a championship within a year or two. I think that could happen. Beth Lang in the house. What's up, Beth? How you doing? Should be an interesting matchup between these Seattle Kraken and Vegas Golden Knights. I believe so, but let's be honest here. The Vegas Golden Knights are pretty much a powerhouse team in this league, and Seattle is not doing well. I'm not sure exactly of the standings. I should look it up right now, but I could actually see the Seattle Kraken losing pretty bad to this Vegas Golden Knights team. But looking at the standings, wow, Vancouver is in first place in the Pacific. Well, they're tied, 49 points with Vegas and the Canucks. Seattle is in fifth. They have a 7-8-3 home record. So, and Vegas on the road is 9-7-3. So interesting scenario here where Vegas is not really great on the road and Seattle isn't great at home, but who knows? An atmosphere like this could boost up a player's morale or energy, confidence, and so on. So could see a pretty decent matchup. And I'm not a Vegas fan. I kind of dislike that team, and it's not because Bruce Cassidy's on that team or Jack Eichel or anything like that. It's just never been a Vegas fan. But I would like to see Seattle come out and win because they're playing in Seattle and it'll do good for that community. I think they're talking about Marshall Lynch. I think he was a football player for Seattle. All right, Brian. Thank you very much for the info. I was told that Twitter, you'd be able to go on to the video on Twitter and be able to interact on the chat. So I could be wrong about that. I don't know if you have to be on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel if you want to jump over there, Black and Gold Productions LLC. You can subscribe over there and send us questions. Sorry for the inconvenience that it's not working, but at least people are seeing it. But if you do want to interact, I highly recommend you jump on Facebook or the YouTube or something. Beth says, how good will the ice be? Oh, like they were talking about previously before the game started was obviously the sun and so on, and it's good to have a game like this with a retractable roof. So if the sun's getting too much, you can obviously move that, cover it up, and so on. But these sheets of ice, these mobile sheets of ice that they use every year for these events, they come with a pretty impactful chiller. So it is the northwest of the United States. They do get temperatures, 30, 40 degrees. I'm not sure what the temperature is out there right now, but that chiller would probably compensate for any loss of, the slushiness and so on, or bad ice conditions. But hopefully it's not that bad. Not like Bruins and the Flyers at Lake Tahoe, because that was a shit show. Beth, hopefully you had a good New Year's and your family a good holiday as well. Hopefully everybody that's tuning in had a great Christmas with family and friends, did it safely. Back to the grind tomorrow. New year and everything. So looking forward to a change. I'm really kind of pissed that this Twitter thing isn't working. Because I really wanted to get the Twitter or X folk around, because normally those people are pretty good about interacting. I should see if Dom wants to come on. I wonder what he's doing today. I don't know. I love the Vegas jerseys. They honestly look like they're two people freaking giving fingers. It really does. Like, screw you. Screw you. We're the better expansion team. Any word on Forbert? This is from Beth Lang. He's been out a long time. And from my understanding, he's probably going to be out a lot longer than people think. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I know Dom talked about the Bruins working the phones for a defenseman because he says that they're working the phones on a defenseman. I'm saying they're working the phones on a defenseman because they possibly think that Forbert could be out a lot longer than expected. So it should be interesting what's going to happen from this point to the NHL trade deadline, where the Bruins want to go. Obviously, they're not going to make moves like they did last year. Last year, they had the draft capital and they had the pieces to bolster up their lineup because they had a team that was an absolute wagon. And why not take a chance on that team? But ultimately, the team failed in the first round. So with that being said, all that draft capital and those pieces aren't available. So I don't see them making a big move, a big splash, maybe some complementary pieces in the physical factor of the game. But we'll see what happens. Brian Morris, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it, dude. He's tuning in on the Facebook. Mike Sullivan, Happy New Year's, Mark. Wishing nothing but the best to you and yours. You as well, Mike. Been a long time. Hopefully everything's good with you and your family. Anyway, Brian, hit me up with some questions on through the Facebook feed. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I found the question about the trade interesting. If you want to elaborate a little bit more, feel free to do so. Anybody else can too. This is why I'm doing this, just to chill out with some folks. Have a couple of drinks. I got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm not going to get absolutely crazy. Mike, I'm not going to answer that question because you are Captain Nostalgia, and I don't get into hockey like that. And thanks for clarifying that you were kidding, because sometimes the tongue in cheek, my man, I don't know where to go with it. I don't know. I just cap space. I don't think it works. I don't know. This Boston Bruins team needs to find its speed. I don't think Phil has that, and especially not skating competitively for half a season kind of makes me worried about. And that's what worried me about the whole stupid rumor of Patrice Bergeron. Like, oh, he's only retiring for a little while. He'll be back in like March when he comes. It's like, no. Why would I love to have Patrice Bergeron back? Absolutely. There's nothing more in the world that I would love to see. But I respect his time and I respect his decision. But also, you can't expect a player like that who's only skated in a few alumni games to come back to NHL form again and contribute regularly. I just don't see that happening. So I don't see Phil coming back to Boston. I know Jeff Merrick would love for the story. He's like a Captain Nostalgia like Michael. Brian Morris. Oh, I should highlight these. I keep forgetting to do that. Think they run 2 goalie rotation through the season and move one in the off season, all marked to save money. Believe it or not, Brian, if you listen to the Black and Gold Hockey podcast, Don Tiano mentioned that the Bruins are going to have enough cap space next season that they don't have to get rid of a goaltender either this year or during the off season. They'll have plenty of space to make moves and kind of go, push the needle to pretty much buy a championship. Because I think this team is still a few pieces away. Goaltending, we have. Why screw it up? Tiwi, Amanda, what's up? Thank you for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Back to the Allmark talk. I wouldn't move him this year. But I would take phone calls during the offseason, particularly before the draft. The Boston Bruins are in desperate need to replenish the prospect pool, and a first-round pick would certainly help a lot in that direction. But again, you think about the other side of the coin. It's like these two work so well together. And this team is relying on their goaltending this year for, obvious mistakes in front of them. But I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation. Now, if the salary cap is only going to be a few million next season, yeah, you would have to entertain the thought of moving Allmark this year, not only to get the draft capital, but to save cap space and so on. But we're in a different situation than 28 to Brian says 28 to 32 available next year with a question mark. I'm not totally sure. I don't have cap friendly up right now, but yeah, absolutely. Where are we going? Michael Sullivan. Also, the median age of the team. If you bring him back, whoa. I don't know what this says, Michael. I think you might have fumbled a little bit, but this is also the median age of the team. If you bring him back, it would be 85. The team doctors would be on overtime. Absolutely, I agree with that. Beth comes in and says, I like to see Berge coach the centers and winning faceoffs. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have Patrice Bergeron work with Georgi Merkulov. I'm a Merkulov guy. I really am. Great prospect. Comes out of Ohio State after his freshman year. Has been playing progressively well in Providence under Ryan Mujanel, Trip Mcfield, and Matt Thomas, and is getting it this year. And I like what he's doing. I like the steps he's got. But man, when he takes a face off, it's like, it just gives me the uncomfortable feeling that he's not comfortable. But I'm really, really hoping that Jim Montgomery and the coaching staff do give Merkulov more time to get comfortable. Use Matty Patra over in the World Juniors as much as you can to get him comfortable and so on, and get him point producing. I knew he wasn't going to come in and be this juggernaut that so many people thought he was. I'm like, temper your expectations, because this is a difference in level, and it's a lot different in pressure. So I'm not saying he's doing a bad job, but I do want to, have him get some more time and get some more comfortable shifts and so on. And yes, he has been sat. Jim Montgomery has done this to a few prospects now, so I'm not worried about how they're developed up here at the NHL. I like Bourbon Footprint. I like that name, actually. Don't fix what's not broken. I agree. But also in a realistic aspect, we don't have a lot of things that we can use to patch some of the holes that this Boston Bruins team has been exposed to, particularly this season, losing Bergeron and Krejci, and gaining so many different faces on this team that were, cap-friendly moves. They were really, really good moves that I thought Don Sweeney did a fantastic job. I like when a general manager addresses versatility up and down the lineup and at like $1 million cap space. JVR is a great example. And if he would like to come back, and if there's at least $2 million available for him to come back, I'd entertain it. Because I'll tell you, Bruins players lately seem to get better after they have a year of that comfort zone. Once the second year comes around, boom, these guys are like bought into the system, the whole thing and everything. We saw it with Nick Foligno. We saw it with Linus Ullmark. So many new people that had a little bit of a difficult time adjusting to the Boston culture. And once you have a full season of that, man, the next year is always really beneficial to the player and the organization. Don't be afraid to hit up that chat for more questions and so on. Like I said, I really love doing this, and I really appreciate that there's so many people in here right now tuning in and getting ready for this 2024 Winter Classic. boo Gary Bettman. He's on the TV right now, so got to boo him. Really liking this death metal stuff. It's an iced tea. Not bad. Not bad at all. I got a peach one for Christmas. My Courtney got me an 8-pack of the Armless Palmer, which is an Arnold Palmer. But she got me an 8-pack of those and an 8-pack of Rustin Peach. And I dabbled a little bit the other night with some Rustin Peach and some Crown Royal peach flavored whiskey. And oh my God, was it good. It was so friggin' good. But anyway, it looks like things are getting ready to go in Seattle. Packed house. Or maybe not. It's still spraying. Wow. Maybe the ice conditions aren't good. Bettman talking right now. Yeah. I saw that too. That's why I gave the boo. You guys can hit me up with any Bruins related questions, Providence Bruins, maybe even some prospects that you haven't heard from. League news, you know, there's constant news of the NHL thinking about expanding. What are the pros and cons of that? Atlanta is very hot right now, very hot topic right now to come back to the NHL for the third time. Crazy. But I think the NHL is doing their due diligence nowadays and not just giving franchises out to people that talk. They want people that can talk a big game and also have a little bit of action and want to grow roots in where they're going to be playing. I take the American Hockey League for an example. The San Jose Barracuda, they built a fantastic facility. 4,500 fans, which is, in my opinion, perfect number for the American Hockey League. But they also have 5 other rinks in the facility that they use for training, and it's all year-round training. Those types of facilities in those certain communities, that's what builds development in certain areas. And I really like that. I love that. So I wouldn't be surprised if the American Hockey League also thinks about expanding as well. Edited on the YouTube, would you see PK Subban injecting some personality and fun into these pre-game folks? It would be funny. PK is a character. Zachary Souza. Thanks, Zach, for tuning in. Was Beecher benched or hurt last night? My guess is benched. Seems to be a trend with the younger players. But growing pains of development. That's all I'm going to say about that. I don't think there's anything else. There's a nasty narrative out there that Jim Montgomery doesn't know how to coach, and he's improperly using these prospects, which I find not true. Hard disagree. Also, not talking about Connor Bedard here too. If he was sitting Connor Bedard, there's a real problem. But players like Poitras and Beecher and Merkulov, and they just gotta. It's patient. It's all about patience. I wish there was somebody else on here with me so I could put the earphones in and hear somebody else's voice. Sitting here talking by myself sucks. Actually, I should see if anybody else wants to join me. BB Lux in the house. What's up, Wanda? My friend Wanda, she owns BB Lux Transportation Company, a proud sponsor of things that we do here at Black and Gold Productions, and also gives me my rides too when I'm covering events as a media member. Maine, Boston, and Providence. Great person. Thanks for tuning in, Wanda. I appreciate it. She says, I think he's a great coach and knows how to coach the young team. Agreed. I sent out an invite to Dom Tiano, the co-host of the Black and Gold Hockey Podcast, and Kevin O'Keefe, good friend, passionate Bruins fan. Let's see if those two want to jump in and, talk to me and obviously take any of your questions. Dom's a great person for prospects. He pays so much attention. And if you're not following him on Twitter and you're not subscribed to his dom.hockey website, you're doing yourself a disservice. So DraftKings, Kraken to score the first goal, under 6 for total goals, and Knights to win the game. And that's at plus 950. That's not a bad. Freaking Paul Bissonnette taken out. All right, the Kraken freaking mascot is, I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. I rank that creature, whatever it is, up with Gritty. They're both pretty weird. Looks like they pulled out of the slums of each of their respected cities. Anyway, I gotta share this link with some of my colleagues, see if they want to jump in, talk some bees. Share. I'd like to get a couple people in here. That'd be freaking cool. All right. So I sent out an invite. Sorry about that stale time. Chris says something about Lucic. If Lucic gets his charges dropped, do you want to see them terminate his contract or use him as planned coming into? Nah, I don't want him back at all. I never really wanted him here in the first place, but thought it was exciting for like a player like Trent Frederick to not focus on skating around and just making a muck of the game. I also wanted him to be point productive, like he's doing this year. Trent Frederick's game, it just keeps getting better every year. But I also think that a lot of that physical factors was, shifted to the side where, yes, he can contribute physically, but also not be the guy that's running around. That could be Luch. But after this whole episode with Luch a while back, I don't know. I don't see him being a part of this organization any further than his separation from the team this year. BB Lux says, any comments how everyone thinks Marchand is doing as a captain? I think he's doing all right. Can't be easy to learn. I mean, it probably was easy to learn from guys like Chara and guys like Bergeron, but to accept the role this year without Bergeron and Krejci and so on, and be that guy, I think it's adjusted okay. I don't, obviously it's something new to him in the organization, so it's going to take time to adjust. I think next year you probably see a way better Marchand, but I think he's doing okay. I think he's always been one of those leaders and a player that young people can lean on for advice and so on, and also be a hard ass when needed. When you need to, push and get an extra 10% out of somebody later on in the game, that guy's going to be there and, provide some of that leadership and some of that, what that pep talk that gets you going. All right. Hey, Jason Cook, my colleague at B&G Productions, said he would love to join for a little bit. So I'm going to send him the link. All right, I'm going to send him a link on the Twitter or X. That's what we're freaking calling it these days. So annoying that Twitter is not Twitter. So dumb. So be right back while they send my boy Jason this invitation link. Ooh, there he is. Sorry, I'm old and slow. All right, so he's got the link right now. Hopefully he'll join. That'd be kind of cool to have Jason on. He is a new guy here at the Black and Gold Production Sports Media Company and is doing a really good job as a new person. He's been up on the ninth floor of TD Garden covering games for us as a credentialed media member for a couple games this season. Andrew Bluestein has been up there the most, and Tom Caliuti have also been up there. I've been up there a bunch of times too, so we have a nice little rotation of people that are constantly covering a game. And I think we've only missed one game, and that was the first game of the season against Chicago because the media section was so full. With Connor Bedard and the Bruins 100th anniversary, first game, we understood that we weren't able to make it, but we've been up there ever since. So it's been a great opportunity, and I'm truly, truly thankful for to the Boston Bruins organization for giving us these opportunities to get to watch the games from high above, but also, locker room access for post-game player interviews and talking to Jim Montgomery and so on and asking him questions about a player or a certain time in a game. It's been gratifying. So, and 2024 is going to be even bigger for us. We're trying to grow this company even further, and I think we have some good people to do that. So, obviously, looking for other folks that are interested in contributing quality content and that can do it regularly. But my friend Andrew Bluestein sent me a message, said he'd love to join, but he is out with family, so that's fine. Family is always first. But like I said, always trying to get other folks involved. And here is Jason Cook. Oh, shit. I got to hang on. Jason, I got to put my earphones in, so this might take a little while. So also let me see if I can hear any feedback from the TV. Bluetooth. This is why I need a producer to do all this stuff. All right, I am connected, so very good. Here is my boy Jason Cook.
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good, how are you, bud?
Thanks for bringing me on. This is cool.
Well, thanks for your ability to jump on, and also
Sure.
a huge appreciation from myself and everybody else on the team at Black and Gold Productions for coming in with an aggressive manner to learn how we do things here at Black and Gold and take the reins and cover games as a credentialed media member from the ninth floor at TD Garden for a couple of occasions this year. And, really proud of your growth and our growth as a company here. So thank you very much. Happy New Year. And hopefully the holidays were good for you.
Yeah, no, same too. Happy New Year. And I obviously can't say enough about the opportunities you've given me and how exciting it is to be up on the ninth floor representing such a awesome company. So all thanks is to you for that. That's it was a dream come true, honestly. The first game I went to earlier in the month. So yeah, 2024 is going to be awesome. I'm going to continue to learn. I know I still have a long way to go, but yeah, it's exciting stuff for sure. So I can't thank you enough.
Absolutely. And I like to give the opportunities to people that grind it out here. If you're going to write an article once a month, you're probably not going to be sitting on the ninth floor. But
right.
I like to give those opportunities for the guys that grind it out or the ladies that grind it out.
Right.
It's more beneficial that everybody gets these experiences and opportunities because yes, I understand that this is a growing company and so on, but this is also like a minor pro system for younger people like yourself that are trying to get more involved into sports journalism. And if this is a platform that you need to use for as a resume builder to go to a place like Nesson or NBC or any other sports affiliate around the world, that's beneficial to us, just as long as you stick around for at least a year or two.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, definitely. No, I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. This is awesome. Yeah, I know for sure.
I also wanted to have you plug your new endeavor this year, as you will be covering the is it the PWHL, the
Yes.
Boston team,
Yes.
which is going to be played out of Lowell. So why don't you plug that and try to see if you can get some interest for yourself?
Yeah. So the PWHL, it's they're starting their inaugural season this year. Only 6 teams, so I think they may try to expand that in the future, but completely kind of taking the women's hockey world by storm, I think. So I'm going to be working with the hockey news. Ian Kennedy, he's the coordinator for the women's side of it. They're going to be playing, I think, anywhere from I think it's 12 games at the Songa Center in Lowell, at the campus where I actually go to school at UMass Lowell. So that's works pretty good for me there. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. The Boston team has got some pretty good players on it. Hillary Knight, I mean, she might be considered the best women's hockey player in the world. So it'll be cool to see that in person. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty big deal. They got Patrice Bergeron dropping the puck for Wednesday's game. I think it's going to be a pretty full crowd. The Songus, believe it's around 6,500 capacity. So I would expect that
Wow.
to be filled. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a not only opportunity for me to learn. I think there's going to be some other credentialed members there. I think I saw Matt Porter on Twitter said he might be there in the press box. But I think it'll just be awesome to see these women play hockey because these women are very talented and they definitely deserve a stage to be competing just like the men do. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, that's much better. These freaking lights in my face. I had to turn them down. No, that's awesome. And the growth of the women's game has been so good in the previous seasons. It's just really sad that the Boston Pride name had to go away, and they also had to find a different place to play besides their original home rink at the Warrior Ice Arena. I thought that was really convenient for a lot of people to get to and support. But it seems that the facility in Lowell is going to be just as good and pretty much sold out on a regular basis, which is good. And I love women's hockey. It's very competitive. It's these ladies can play, and they deserve to be on the highest pedestal as the men do. At some point, I would really love to see the NHL and individual teams get more involved in producing and supporting a local team, where if the NHL has 32 teams, there's a league for women that have 32 teams, and maybe the travel schedule can be worked out where it's one plane, but both organizations can do the travel and the rigors and so on. So, I mean, in a perfect world, that'd be great. But there's so many logistics that go around, and travel's not cheap.
No.
Travel is not cheap at all. That's why the American Hockey League it continues to be a bus-driven league.
Right. Yeah. I think they could model the WNBA almost. The WNBA, I think they play their games in the summer, so they can kind of get more eyes on them in the summer. And I think they have a lot of teams, and that seems to done pretty well. I remember I would watch those playoff games, great basketball. I tuned into a couple of the PWHL games today, the first games got on started, and good hockey. They were letting them hit too, which I think is awesome. It was physical, it was fast. So yeah, no, it's no doubt that it's a great product. It definitely deserves to be seen. And I think even Nesson picked up all their home games, so that'll be awesome for you to be able to just go to your TV, turn on Nesson, and watch the games.
Yeah, first game on Nesson is Wednesday night, so check it out. Dialing it back to some Bruins talk, or even some conversation about the Winter Classic. Anything on your mind that's been going on that you want to get off your chest or discuss, hash
Um,
out?
I just saw on Twitter actually they were talking to Gary Bettman, and he kind of dropped a little teaser about how there might be some sort of international mid-season tournament. I don't know if you saw that, Mark, but that kind of caught my mind. Maybe similar to what was the thing they did a couple years ago? The World Hockey Classic. Is that what it was called?
It's the world something.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't remember
World Cup of
what
Hockey.
it
Is that what it
was.
was called? World Cup of Hockey.
Yes, I think that's what it was.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Little thing dropped by him because I actually really enjoyed that when they did that a few years. That was a long time ago, but
Um, yeah, I thought I heard Elliot Friedman talk about this a couple weeks ago when they were at the Board of Governors meetings. I believe they were out in Seattle before this event. And they were discussing that back then, but I didn't think it gained a ton of traction at that particular point. But obviously, when Gary speaks and says something like that, people gravitate to it. I'm all for, if the players are for it, then it's cool. But for me, it comes down to logistics, regular season scheduling, and so on. I think we got to get better at this, and I do understand that. I'm not having the blinders on just the NHL right now. I know that the NHL is the best team in the league, and every other league in the world is trash. But I do get that there's concerts, there's revenue to be made.
yeah,
In other areas, not just hockey. But I really wish that sooner or later, if they want to do tournaments, in-season tournaments like this, that they still consider spreading out the regular season. Like October was okay. There wasn't like many games. There was a lot of games, days where you had 3 days of rest and then you went back in. November was kind of a tight month for the Boston Bruins. Pretty much played every other day, and then you go into December and you have 3 straight weeks of 3 days off.
yeah. It's
and
really
then and then
strange.
yeah, but when the calendar turns and you look at the Boston Bruins schedule, now games are more or less like a playoff schedule, which is good. It is good because that's the rhythm, that's the repetition that you want to be in. But it also wears players out.
Yeah.
And I think that if you want to do these in-season tournaments, or you want to do these silly, stupid bye weeks, then accommodate for the rest of the year and spread everything else out if possible.
Yeah. No, I agree. How do you feel about the back-to-backs? I feel like the Bruins have had a lot of back-to-backs this year. It almost feels like that could be avoidable in the schedule, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like if you just kind of adhere to an every other game kind of mindset, I would love to see the NHL stay at 82 games. But if you have to go a little further into the summer, it's not such a bad idea.
Yeah.
Your playoffs will be a little more extended and so on. But I think it would work. But if you're not going to accommodate and do anything like that, I think the back-to-backs are just relatively stupid. And especially the rules. Like if you dig deep into the CBA, like I've talked to Dom Tiano, co-host on the Black and Gold Hockey podcast, about this previously, is if you go and dig deep in the CBA generally tells you when you can leave and when you can't leave an airport for a certain time period. Like if you're on back-to-backs, you can't just get up and go. There's a rule.
Okay.
I don't know. It's so stupid, but
Yeah.
if they just alleviate those kind of terms and so on and just make it a little more easier, I'm all for it. I'm also for extended stays on the road. So if you go to a place like Florida, or you go to a place like California, you stay there for a couple of days so the team can go out there, play their games also, but be with their teammates and get that camaraderie and do things together, team building and blah blah blah, and play a game or two on the road and then come back. I don't think that, the travel would be so rushed as it is right now. And I don't think it would put that heavy toll that it does on athletes' bodies. And I'm talking about athletes, no matter what sport they do. I'm not a big flyer. I kind of bus and train everything I do, but obviously, if a sports media company makes some decent money and I need to fly, I'm going to do it. But I'll take the budget transportation any day. But um, once you fly, I heard athletes, they don't recover very well from several hours in the air. So anything to make these players perform better, I think that's what the ultimate goal should be.
Right. Yeah. But, no, I agree. They definitely could run into some issues if they try to. Because when they did that World Cup of Hockey, I think what did they do to compensate for that break in schedule? Did they push the season back? Were games just jammed together more? Or?
It was done, if I'm not mistaken, I thought it was done before the season started.
Okay, yeah, you might be right.
So I think it was September that this little tournament happened. And while it was exciting and so on, it's just, I mean, for me, it's always about the injury and so on. You send somebody out, hey, I had in the back of my mind, I had thoughts about Matt Poitras getting injured at the World Juniors.
He was getting tossed around yesterday.
But that happens when you put any player in a competitive situation like that, when you're actually going, for a gold medal. But it all comes down to injuries and so on. I don't want anybody to get hurt, obviously, but so this game is going on, and we're a minute involved, and obviously there's no score right now, but please feel free to hit us up on the chat. Jason and I would be glad to answer some of your questions for as long as Jason can hang out for. And by the way, appreciate your time today, dude. Really.
Oh no.
I like having multiple people on.
Yeah.
I'm not a good speaker as it is in the first place, but
no, I imagine it could be hard to just kind of be on here by yourself.
I mean, it's not bad because I do have the people that chime in with a question here and there to keep me going, but it's also good to have somebody else to bounce off of.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think about the Winter Classic being the two newest teams? I know there's a lot of people that think it should be reserved for original 6 teams or kind of original teams. What's your thought on that?
I don't know. I mean, at some point, I would think that 50% of these players that are out in the ice right now were taught how to play hockey on the ponds, outdoors.
Yeah.
Living it as a kid. And I think that is the biggest feeling that a lot of these guys get out of situations like this. I enjoy it. I enjoy every one.
Yeah. Awesome.
I went to the Fenway one. I went to the Gillette one. I wish I could do it actually, because I'm a big fan of skating outdoors.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. I breathe so much better outdoors and not in a rink where it's so stale and shit like that. So, and I wish that it would be a little more fruitful for the rest of the teams in the league. I don't think that a lot of the teams get their fair share of exposure in games like this, where it's heavily gravitated to the original 6. The teams that have the stars and so on, because that's where the money is. And I get the whole business aspect of these festivities, and in a league that's starving to make money, hand over fist. But I still, regardless of the business and so on, I enjoy them.
Yeah. No, I mean, you look at a team like the Bruins. What have they been in it 4 times?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means,
but like Chicago has been in it 6 times?
Yeah. Pittsburgh had their fair share.
Pittsburgh's another one.
Yeah.
Like it's good to see that you're starting to get some of the Nashvilles involved. Now you got Seattle, you got Vegas involved. I mean, I even remember back in I think it was the 90s. You weren't probably born back then, right?
No.
Yeah. I'm showing my age, definitely. But I remember when they put a mobile rink down in the Strip in Vegas.
Oh, really?
And Wayne Gretzky was out there tooling around. And when you look in the stands, people were wearing shorts and T-shirts and so on,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I find it interesting, but yeah, it is definitely heavily towards the business side of the game.
Right.
But I don't know. I want Boston to do one, but I want it at Harvard Stadium.
That'd be awesome.
I like the U. I like the U shape of that facility. Yeah. And I think it'd be great for hockey.
What's the capacity of Harvard?
Oh, I have no idea. I'm not sure.
I wonder if it would be big enough.
I want to say it's got to be bigger than Fenway Park.
Yeah. No, I've been inside there before, and it's pretty big. I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh, Seattle scored.
Really?
Oh, yeah. That'd be so cool. Yeah, 1-0. At the 15-10 mark of the first period, we have the first goal of the 2024 Winter Classic. And Dunn took it in. Oh, nice tip. Great tip. Dunn from the point, shoots it right in, and a nice tip right between the pads. 5-hole goal. Yeah, I do want Seattle to win this game.
I was just going to ask if you had any rooting interest. Are you? Yeah, I was going to say I'm kind of a Bruce Cassidy guy. I'm not going to lie. So whenever the Knights win, I can kind of feel a little good about that.
Yeah, I'm even with Bruce Cassidy as their head coach. I've never been a real fan of them.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Like Eichel too. Eichel being a local kid.
Yeah,
you can root for him, but
no, it's really cool that he's getting so much better. When he left Buffalo.
Oh, do you see that goal he scored the other night?
No, I missed it.
Absolute snipe. Just he can shoot the puck like crazy.
Well, he's tall and he's got that leverage that he puts right into that.
Yeah,
the bending of the stick and all that. What do you think about Georgi Merkulov in his first game or a couple games actually?
I didn't think he looked bad. I didn't think he looked great. I think he was in the right spots a lot of times, and that's what Jim Montgomery said in the post-game press conference after Saturday's game. Is he thought he was awesome. Mentioned he had to sit him down in the third period. Just he didn't really feel comfortable with him out there trying to protect that 2-goal lead, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. But they had some great chances. I mean, early in that game against New Jersey, when they had some momentum, his line was out there really kind of starting to turn the tide a little bit. He had a couple opportunities to shoot the puck, got deflected into the net. But I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive in the corners. A couple times there's some puck battles he wasn't really fully activated in. But overall, I think first couple of games under his feet, it probably calm the nerves a little bit. He's probably feeling a little better. I might want to consider moving him up a line. Just to kind of see what he can really do offensively. Who do they have him with between Van Riemsdyk and Frederick, right? The first couple.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah. What are you gonna say?
I don't mind him on the third line at all. Yeah. And I do agree with a lot of folks out there that say that he could get more out of his game if he was up another line.
Right.
Surrounded by better talent. But for me, that's an earned opportunity.
Yeah.
If you want to climb above and play with that higher echelon of talent, then you got to prove that you got to be there. Nothing's given in this league.
Slotted right into the
top
six. So yeah.
I like that was not placed on the fourth line. I've seen several times where Jack Sednika has come up, gotten the call, and they put him on the fourth line center, which made no sense to me because you're not putting a kid like that in the position where he can benefit greatly from his surrounding teammates. If you put a player on the fourth line, you're teaching him the rigors of an impactful line where you're going to attack the other one. You're going to be a menace and so on. You'll learn the physicality of the game quickly by there, but you're not being put in a position of greatness, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would like to see Georgie shoot more, better on the faceoffs. He just looks so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He looks very uncomfortable in the faceoffs. What else? And maybe I'm looking at what his time in the American Hockey League. But down in Providence, I've seen Georgie throughout his career, snap up a pass, but watch it and glam at that and not see the opponent coming from the side and just plaster him in the boards. That's the stuff I like to see him get out of his game. His two-way game has gotten so much better this year, even towards the end of last year. And I believe Georgie is better suited to be a center and not a winger. He just seems so much more comfortable at the wing, and he was really, really leaned on when Vinny Lettieri went down for an injury, because Lettieri was the center for a while, and Merkulov was playing the left. And when Lettieri went down, Merkulov slotted right into the center, and then from that point on, for like 12 games, rifled off an unbelievable point streak when he was placed in the center position. So he was very comfortable, and I like the way that they're moving forward with him. Keeping him at that center position, either in Providence and also up here at the NHL level.
Yeah. Do you think they keep him up here the remainder of the year, or?
I mean, it all depends on him and his contributions. It's not always what is on the score sheet that gets you more consistent time in the National Hockey League. It's the small impacts off the score sheet that all coaches behind the bench and behind the scenes want to see. And obviously that remains to be seen if he stays or not. Not totally sure, but did I lose my camera?
Yeah, you're frozen. It looks like
I am. I am frozen. That is kind of weird. But anyway. Wow, that is strange. So I don't know how.
In a couple seconds, maybe.
Don't know what I did. And I lost my train of thought, so.
Yeah. No, you were saying they might. Just depends on how he does if they're gonna keep him up or not.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got to do a lot more.
Yeah.
To impress. But I don't know. Much like Mason Lowry, I think that his first call up was only to be there for an injured player and so on.
Right.
Where Merkulov's coming up because there's a center spot available.
Right.
With Matt Poitras going to the World Juniors.
Right. What do you think? I think I lost Mark.
I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
Something's going on with my this whole setup, so I don't know. Now I've got a black screen.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not good. It's the first time I've had really bad connection problems. Let me see if I change. I don't know what the hell's going on. All right.
There you go.
Now I'm just on my webcam on my computer
Okay.
because the camera that I set up over here is not working. And I don't understand why that is not happening. Because it's running right now.
Right.
But when I go and switch, it's not doing anything. That is absolutely strange. Anyway. Still 1-0 Seattle. Midway, first period.
How's the ice conditions looking?
It doesn't look. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of far away from my TV, but it doesn't look too bad.
That's good.
I know these
Tahoe game where.
Oh yeah, because that was because of the sun.
Yeah,
the sun killed that game.
Yeah, and I loved that atmosphere. I thought that was an awesome idea.
Yeah,
but they probably should have just waited until night, just play under the lights or.
Yeah, I think that game was definitely suited for a night game and not the day.
Yeah.
You know, you're in Lake Tahoe. You're that much closer to the sun. What were you thinking? Right. But, man, it looks like a really, really good crowd there. All the Winter Classics, they all do a really good job of getting fans in the stands. All right, so now I'm back. That's weird. Okay, so my camera over here must have time out.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been doing this now for 2:30, so over an hour. So that's something I gotta look into and make sure that that's running all the time. All right, Chris comes in with a good question right here, and I'm not a cap guy, so I don't have an answer. But he says, how are each of you looking to clear $1.2 million needed to get Forbort off of LTIR since he's available to come off tomorrow? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
not really a cap guy.
The only thing I could think of is if he comes back into the lineup, Mason Lohrei is going to Providence. And that's a very, very hard decision because
I'm not sure I love that.
In the second call up, he's been so much better. He is so much more bought into everything the second time. He's playing like he does not want to go back down.
Right.
So, like I said, I am not cap dude. So that's a question for Dom. If he was here, I'm sure he would have answered that. But I mean, there's going to be some cap juggling when Forbort comes back.
I think Lohrei should stay up. I think he's looked really. He's just so good with the puck. He's so poised when he gets the puck on top of that blue line. I think it would be a shame if they sent him back down to Providence.
Yep. And I hopefully you're not one of those unrealistic fans out there that think being sent down to the American Hockey League is a death sentence.
Oh no. Yeah, no. No.
I'm constantly in battle with those people. They don't believe that the minor pro system has anything to do with anything at all. It's just maddening to think about sometimes because
it's not always a punishment to be
you need a feeder system.
Right. And the Bruins have had a pretty good one over these past couple years. I mean, Swayman came up from there. Pasternak, I think, played a few games on there when he was a rookie.
I am wicked jealous of watching Matt Bernier's play pond hockey in Hingham, Massachusetts.
Oh,
That's got to be an old video because
really?
there's no ice around here. Where are you, Jason?
I'm in Tewksbury, Mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually have we're actually putting it together right now, a backyard rink in my backyard. But it's
no way.
Yeah, it's been too warm. So we haven't been able to fill it yet, but we've been doing this for about 12, 13 years now. So
oh Jesus. I'm up in Amesbury, so I'm not too far away.
Yeah.
Is it 200 by 85?
I'm not sure the exact dimensions. It's not huge, but it's you can comfortably play 3-on-3 on it.
Okay. All right.
So it's awesome. Nothing like skating outside in the winter time.
Okay. So just make sure your parents don't mind if I pitch a tent out there for the rest of the winter.
Yeah, we needed to get cold. It's the weather has been so inconsistent lately.
Oh, it's terrible. New England's just it's not like it was when I was a kid. When I was growing up, like around Thanksgiving, that's when you started to notice it was really starting to get cold.
Yeah.
And then by mid-December, we were out skating on the ice year by year by year. But it's New England. We live so close to the freaking ocean that we just cannot sustain ice here. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a place up in Portsmouth, New Hampshire that we're going to be renting pretty soon, and I'm going to get a group of 20 people. I will definitely fill some people in on the Twitter folk and some people at our B&G company, but it's $600 for 2 hours of ice, but it's outdoors, and the ice is actually chilled. There's a machine where so it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, if it's a rainy day, it's bad ice conditions. But even if it's like 40 degrees outside, we can still play.
Right. Yeah.
And it's not on a pond where it's unsafe and so on. But I mean, $600 for 2 hours is a little expensive. But
when you get
I need to get out.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, $50, $40 or $50 a piece. You know what I mean? And leave a decent tip for a 2-hour skate. I'm down with that. Yeah. I'd drop a Hondo myself if I could. I just want to skate, man. I love skating outdoors. I mean, it just. I was kind of pissed because I'm pushing 50, so last year broke a streak of 40 straight years where I did not skate outdoors.
Wow.
Yeah, so I at least went out once, and I'll tell you something. Like I mentioned, we live in New England and so on, and the ice and the weather is terrible here. Even though it was wavy and nasty, I still went out there with a puck stick handle for about 20 minutes and then took off. So I checked it off for each year, but last year there was absolutely no safe ice around here, and I certainly wasn't going to be traveling up to an hour below Canada just to go out there and tool around.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you will not catch me on these ponds when it's kind of shaky. Yeah. Not messing with that.
But anyway, I'm looking forward to playing some pond hockey this year. I want to get back into inline as well, but I wish we had a rink around here for that.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking tennis court freaking surface. I'm talking the plastic tile where you can legitimately go out there with goalie gear, ice hockey goalie gear, and not tear your shit up.
Right.
Because I used to play that in Tewksbury.
Really?
I played deck hockey and inline hockey and ice hockey at Tewksbury.
Where do they have that?
I don't remember the name of it now, but it's right near the Demoulas main factory.
Oh, so they have a rink there now. I wonder if it was
That's it.
okay.
So
Okay.
originally the ice rink was in the front towards the street, and the inline and deck hockey, or the plastic tile with boards and benches and everything. It was freaking awesome.
Okay.
You could play deck hockey and street hockey inside and play inline. But now it's 2 ice rinks because the ice rinks make so much more money.
Right. Yeah.
So they basically got rid of the. So, yeah, I used to go there 3 times a week. I used to goaltender for 30 some odd years, and I retired like 10 years ago because my back, my knees, my hip.
Yeah,
toast.
I can imagine. Yeah,
toast. And that was one of the things. That was one of the things back in the day. Was when I was playing. Somebody I knew who ultimately went to be a physical therapist later on was like, be careful on learning the butterfly. He's like, you should really think about hybrid your moves, because butterflies are you're going to pay for it later on.
Hips,
and he was absolutely right.
Yeah.
But then again, I was 190 pounds back then too, so be like a big old walrus in the net, just back up, and you got everything covered. I do miss playing though, but that's kind of what opened up, like, the loss of playing and the camaraderie in the locker room and just being with the guys. That's what really brought me on to like do what we're doing at the website. Cool. Yeah, because I went through a depression with not playing. Like the first year was crazy. I'm just like, what am I doing with myself? So on. And a friend of mine was just like, you love writing, just start a blog. And we just went from there.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so now I'm not focused on playing anymore. I'm focused about trying to grow a company.
Yeah.
While working a 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah, no, I imagine that's a lot. Yeah.
It's fun though. It's rewarding.
Yeah. No,
I just like being busy.
Yeah.
I just like being busy, and just there's always something to do.
Yeah.
You sleep when you're dead. Oh man. Hit us up with some questions on the chat if anybody's still around. If you are still around, thank you so much for checking it out and watching the game with us. Are you watching the game at all? Or you just?
I am not. No, I'm just
okay.
I'm just in my room. I can probably pull it up on my phone though to peek in on it.
There's like under 5 minutes to go in the first period. Seattle's still leading 1-0. That's a place I'd like to go. I'd like to go to Seattle. Yeah, I want to check out their rink. Or their arena. Because the arena is actually built underneath a roof.
Really?
Yeah. So here's the thing. All right. So when the whole idea of a Seattle franchise was coming into fruition, they said, we want to build it on this ground. And I guess the city of Seattle was like, well, you can't destroy the roof because it's some kind of historical freaking thing, whatever. It was just complete bullshit, right? So engineers were just like, okay, well, we'll build the arena underneath it and maximize the space underneath it without getting rid of the roof. And that's what they did.
Interesting.
Go check it out. It's yeah, it's so weird. It's so the NHL though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something Pledge Arena.
Okay.
I don't remember what it is. I'm gonna look it up myself.
I will admit though, I really like their color scheme. Those jerseys are sharp.
Yeah.
Steel and the. Vegas almost just scored.
Climate Pledge Arena.
Okay.
And there's some kind of like story behind it where the roof can't be torn down. It opened in 1962.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm looking at a website right now, and it says a brand new arena under an historic roof. That's
That
funny,
does sound very NHL-esque.
right? Jesus. Oh, by the way, since I have you here, any plans for next Saturday?
This coming Saturday or
Yes, sir.
let me look the calendar. Nothing on the calendar, no.
Okay. I'm tentatively gonna be covering that game against Tampa Bay. But if you want to be the backup, I'll put in a request for you because
Okay.
I think I got something going on, but I'm not totally sure if plans are 100%.
Yeah, I'll be the backup.
So, all right. So Saturday. So tomorrow, I'll let you know tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'll put that request in.
Sounds good.
Cool. I love this little rotation that we have.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. Yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it for sure. I've only been up there twice, but I can tell that is something that will never get old, no matter how many times.
So many things you can do with the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like the content alone from being in the building, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like the camera that I'm using right now for this live stream is the one that I bring into the game.
Okay.
And I go down the elevator. As I'm going down the elevator, I'm setting up the camera on a tripod.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
So obviously, when players are available in the locker room, I go right in, and the more popular players are probably going to be out first, like David Pasternak. They're going to have a bigger scrum than anybody else. So I'm pretty much like the last one to arrive to that one. So the tripod itself with the camera on it, I can lift up and hold.
Right.
And still get video of a down shot over everybody's heads and everything.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. The Pasternak scrum on Saturday was tight. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people.
So I bought the camera, and it came with a regular microphone. It's a weird mic. But I was at development camp using it for the first time. And I interviewed Reed Dick, the goaltender for the Swift Current Broncos and a Bruins prospect. And it was a great interview. I didn't know that he was a baseball player, and he was wicked stoked to go to Fenway Park for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
And so we talked about that, and it was awesome. I talked to him for like at least 7 or 8 minutes. And I thought I got some good audio, but then I got home and put it on the computer. Nothing. So a friend of mine was like, I reached out to a friend of mine. He's like, get a shotgun microphone. And like this microphone's like literally that long.
Oh, really?
But it's thin, and it has options to get the both the sides and whatever you're pointing at. So if I'm pointing at like Charlie Coyle, I could literally be 15 feet away and still get decent audio from him and video because I can zoom in.
Right. Huh. That might be something worth looking into for me to.
Well,
Is it expensive?
The camera is like $400 and the microphone's $150, but it's something that I can do as a company expense. But
right,
obviously the content and content for the website and everything has to increase
right,
for me to do something like that.
right.
Like I can't just go out and buy something like that for somebody that posts an article once a month.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
right.
like you're not really helping me out. I'm already at a loss as soon as it left my house. But no, I like it because it's good for travel. Like everything goes into a backpack when I go and cover media games, whether it be Providence, Maine, or Boston. And I just, as I'm sitting in the press box, I put everything together. Everything's already ready, and then I head downstairs and just turn it on and shoot the video.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I think having the video is really, really cool. Like to be able to post, and I think that gets a lot of traction on the socials, having the video.
Yep. But I also want to like be able to get to a point where I'm comfortable with letting people know like passwords and so on to get on the YouTube channel, the company YouTube channel, to share on there as well.
Right.
Write a small paragraph about the experience and the game and when and blah blah blah, and then just post it.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Because that's something I want to grow too. We're gaining on like 1,000. I think we're probably 200 away from 1,000. So work in progress.
Yeah.
I'm not dead yet, so I'm gonna keep working.
No, I think you're doing a great job. I think we're doing an awesome job.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking about going to the All-Star game for the American Hockey League because it's out in San Jose.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because I know we can get credentialed for that. Because I could reach out to my contact down in Providence and ask him, or I can just reach out to the league on my own.
Yeah.
But it's the cost. It's the flight out there. It's the hotel.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm also not going to go out there just for 2 days.
Right. You want to make a trip out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. But also that facility, it looks so nice. Nice.
Where is it? Is it an AHL facility or is it?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's 4,500 capacity. Like this to me is the future of the American Hockey League. A lot of the teams in the American Hockey League are not owned and operated by the NHL team. It's an affiliation agreement. The Boston Bruins do not own the Providence Bruins.
Right.
It's a separate organization.
Right.
And actually, the guy who owns the Providence Bruins, Rene Renfro, owns the Ice Megaplex in Marlborough, Massachusetts.
Does he really? So is that why they played their games there during COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
Not only that, my friend, but at the time, the Dunkin' Donuts Center was a makeshift hospital for COVID. So when pandemics or anything happens like that, the state automatically takes over a certain facility. When everything's like shut down like this. So so they moved it there. But if you look at the San Jose building structure, it's so good because 4,500 fans. And so when you produce that product on TV or AHL streams or whatever, it looks like it's full.
Yeah.
Like I go down to Providence a lot, and I've never seen that building completely full.
Yeah. Yeah. When I went a couple of weeks ago, it was
because
it was half full.
Yeah, their numbers are derived by season ticket sales. So when somebody puts in for a whole season, they count that number for all the games.
Mm.
So when it says there's 9,000 or 9,500 in the building, you're probably really only looking at 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Because I think full capacity in Providence is 10,000 for
Yeah,
ice
it's
hockey.
pretty big with they kind of have that upper level
Yep.
that goes around the top. It's pretty big.
Yep. And they also had comfortable seats, nice
Yeah.
cushioned seats and everything.
It's really
So,
nice in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But a lot of AHL teams, like I said, they're not operated by the NHL parent club. They're on their own.
Right.
So and they like the owner of the Marlboro New England Ice Center or something like that.
Yeah.
He rents the facility in Providence, but ticket sales and concessions all go to him.
Okay.
Because he rents the facility for a certain amount of time. So teams down in the American Hockey League don't have the budgets to do stuff like that on a year-to-year basis.
Right.
They're riding the line of not making profit at all.
Right.
So by downsizing and having your own building where you can fit smaller quantities of fans, but get a better turnout game to game consistently, is more beneficial as a business than having 5,000 or 6,000 empty seats every night.
Yeah. No, I probably creates a better atmosphere too. It just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But I don't see the NHL going that route, but I do
Yeah.
see a lot of teams like Providence and a lot of the American Hockey League clubs out there that are going to be interested in buying their own facility, much like the San Jose Barracuda did, but also have it in an area where you can earn revenue when games aren't happening.
Right.
Like I got to send you the picture of the layout. There's like 6 rinks in this building. One is a 4,500 seat capacity rink, and the rest of them are just all training rinks. It's nice.
The one in San Jose.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's I think it's called Tech CU Arena.
Okay.
And it's nice. Actually, I'll be able to put. Oh, I can work my magic here, my man. Nope, I deleted it. Oh well. But anyway, man, it's 4:00 already. Been doing this for 2 hours. Seems like it's only been 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, I know. This is fun doing this. Happy I was able to join in. Thanks for letting me on.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like getting together like this. I was bored.
Yeah.
Like I'm all caught up on everything else and just getting ready for the start of a new week tomorrow at the regular 40. So I was like, screw it. Why not just get together with some people and talk some hockey while watching some hockey? So
yeah, nothing better.
Wow. That roof is totally uncovered.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
That's impressive.
That is.
Oh God, who's the cheesy band?
Who is that?
Oh, I think it's Heart. I think it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were from Seattle. What, Alice in Chains wasn't available? Wow. Yeah, I never liked the music.
Who did
like the choices?
Who did they have anyone at Fenway last year?
Not that I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Oh, maybe they did.
It was some like country singer, wasn't it?
And I don't want to be rude here, but wasn't he black?
I don't remember.
I think he was. And he came out in a white suit with a white cowboy hat.
Huh,
And it was
I don't remember. That feels like so long ago, that game, but I guess it really wasn't a year ago.
The internet. I'll be right back. Winter Classic. I know the original was it was Boston's Bell Biv DeVoe.
That was last year?
I think so. But that's not the person I'm thinking about. It was some, I don't know. Black Keys. Yeah, Black Keys.
Okay.
That was last year, but there was something I saw. I don't know what it was, but yeah, there was a country singer that did it. And I said back then, I was like, wow, Aerosmith wasn't available?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. I don't know. This is getting a little carried away with like nothing going on in the chat. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm probably going to call it an afternoon.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Jason, for jumping on. I appreciate it.
For sure. No,
We'll do. I want to try to do this more often. I know Dom has been talking about it. He's like, because there's some folks that have reached out to him saying that they want to see more live streams. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to accommodate the listeners and our supporters that way. So definitely would love to have you back on. With hopefully get Dom too, and maybe a few others. So we'll be doing a lot more of that live streams and more interaction in 2024. That's for sure. So
yeah, no,
just got to make sure we put all the pieces together and get the folks interested to join. And I'm glad to set anything up as long as we have the the participants and the interaction. So
yeah, maybe we could set something up more like weekly, where every week we kind of pick a time, and even if it's
that's
for an hour, it might be kind of tricky though with schedules and
that's
stuff.
that's what I'm doing right now with Dom. Yeah. We're still doing our Black and Gold Hockey podcast every week. So when I'm traveling on Fridays to like Providence, we'll do the show on Thursday night.
Right.
And then if I'm not traveling because it's a road game, then I will we'll record on Friday night. So,
right.
But still, it's a pain in the ass to edit audio and video and so on to get everything out. But I don't know. I missed it for the 4 months that I wasn't around. So throw myself right back into the fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's call it an afternoon. Thanks everybody who participated. Truly appreciate the interaction and everything. And Jason, again, thank you so much for everything that you do at B&G and the time that you spend traveling to Boston and covering the games as a media member. You got 2 games so far. I guarantee you're going to be doing a lot more than that this year. So
I'm excited. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity. Really can't.
No worries at all. We'll talk to everybody next time. And thanks again for tuning in.